Hello and welcome to Alternating Creative Intellectuality. I'm Charlie Keeble and this is the latest video to my blog, AC Keeble, and I have been meaning to create a new video, but it's been quite a while for me to find the time to make this. I'm currently preoccupied with my new employment, working in my for my uncle's pitch frame shop, and also doing my studying, where I'm currently doing my degree in environmental sciences with applied social sciences and engineering and technology. It's a very interesting subject, and I reckon with the creative aspect of autism, I can build a better world, much greater than an environmental activist who just sits on the sidelines protesting and crying for change. And, well, let's face it, the way their tactics work, they're just preaching eugenics and making people miserable about life. Now, for this video, I'm focusing on the International Day of Persons with Disabilities 2022. The United Nations has made the theme of this year's IDPD 2022 as Transformative Solutions for Inclusive Development, of which the role of innovation in fueling an accessible and equitable world. Let's put that into context, shall we? Now, transformative solutions for inclusive development. Well, if you're going to support disabled people to have to be included in this world, then my advice is this: don't pity us. Let us have our own right to self-determination to prove our abilities and usefulness to the world. There are some things about disability advocacy that I despise, and one of those is the way that we are pitied by the do-gooders who see us as just props to their social justice advocacy, pushing this narrative that disabled people are people for pity and have got nothing useful to give to the world. But that is also a reason why I think disability advocacy does not have the same, popularity and media exposure as LGBT, black, and, other sorts of advocacy work for those groups of people, like minorities, and get a heightened celebration of their significance to the world in the media. But I believe disability advocacy can be made to be just as glamorous and exciting as LGBT womanhood, black, Asian, and other sorts of minorities through the way their culture is celebrated. And one of the things that I've considered recently is that amongst these transformative solutions to fuel an accessible and equitable world is to give disabled people hope. For too long, disability advocacy has been about showing people how disabled people are, down on their luck, but they survive and overcome the effects of their impairments. But there is another image, giving disabled people hope. And being a disabled person, such as myself, give other people hope. And through that, I intend to show that disabled people can have the freedom and self-determination to be their own persons of integrity and character that people will value in life and the world. And with that, I believe disabled people can believe in themselves and go on to make their own lives worthy of happiness and showing the way of being a good gift to the world. And one way that I've done it, only just recently, is when I made my first in-person attendance at the Conservative Party conference earlier this year. I went along proudly wearing my autistic Conservative badge on display to all the people there. I made sure that it was seen widely and wisely by all manner of certain people, politicians, Conservative Party activists, and I even went around and worked my way through all these stalls showing how many bright ideas I had as an autistic person, and how I even apply my special interests in environmental science and eco-technology to show that the way in which an autistic Conservative can make a better impact in environmental activism is through engineering solutions. The way I see it, environmental groups like Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion have got too many activists and academics fronting their campaign. What is needed is more entrepreneurs and engineers leading the way, because they have got the solutions to make the world a better place. And through that, Greta Thunberg, in all her wisdom, should realise that there is hope in this world and stop playing the part of a hysterical ranting child, and the media should give much credibility to Elon Musk, who also admits to being autistic, and he can lead the world in saving the planet through environmental engineering solutions. One of those is through the development of his Tesla car batteries, which are leading the way in making electric cars more cost effective and appealing to ordinary people. He's advanced the technology in such ways that you can use an electric car in the same capacity and usefulness as an ordinary petrol or diesel car. When I was at the conference, I also participated in a panel. Well, I was at a panel where these other disabled Conservatives were talking about what they wanted from the Prime Minister to do for disabled people. There are some useful suggestions I heard, and there are also some that I put forward as well, like promoting the use of, recognising the usefulness of disabled people, and that they can make a good impression on modern, not a good impression. I'm struggling with some of my words here. I'm not used to working without a script that often. But if I can remember, I spoke to the Disabilities Minister about my plans and ambitions in politics, and she saw that disabled people have got good things to give to the world. And my objective was one such good example. And one way in which I would do that was by using my special interest in science and technology to build innovative solutions to make Britain a water superpower. You don't make the Britain greener and achieve net zero simply by enforcing policies. You build it by granting the engineers, the scientists and the inventors the freedom to build what they need to do in order to make the world greener. But you don't do it by stripping ordinary common people's rights to go about their daily business with only, well, the stuff that they cannot afford to live with. Otherwise, you'd just be applying social eugenics to stop them from living their lives the way they want to be. So the solution is to combat climate change with creativity. And that is one way in which you apply transformative solutions for inclusive development. You grant disabled people, such as myself, and other autistics, the right to make their own things in life. I may be passionate about the environment, but I have no desire to control people's consumer choices. I do not believe that the state should dictate what people can and cannot create. The free market grant is what gives people the ability to transform and make the world a better place. An inventor with a creative mind should have the tools and resources available to him to make a, say like a hydrogen fuel cell motor that can be cost effective and more in line with the needs of ordinary people, so that the common person can afford to give up their petrol car and replace it with a hydrogen fuel cell car. And there's a lot of bright ideas with infinite imagination where that can come from. And that can only come when that real wealth of creativity comes from liberating people's gifts. And to do that, they must practice their own self-interest to create that wealth within their communities. Guided by the invisible hands of creative forces, an autistic individual can make that happen for themselves. To do so, all of them must have their own freedom from statists that only offer welfare dependency. It makes them slaves to the limitations of their impairments. Autism may be a disability, but you can create a natural extension of yourself to overcome those obstacles. I choose to live in a community of free thinkers who have the right to self-determination. Let it be said that autism is not an impairment that leads to less abilities in this world, that people will not be able to see any usefulness in their lives. So, I think there is more to life for the disabled than just receiving welfare benefits from the state. No social security is ever going to pay me to be happy with myself. For me, that is just peanuts in a poor man's tin. There's a documentary which I would recommend that you see, hosted by Kerry Burnell, which is on the BBC's iPlayer. And this documentary happens to be on there right now. I will just get it up again. Oh yes, it's called Silence, The Hidden Story of Disabled Britain. It's a documentary in which television presenter Kerry Burnell talks about the story of disabled people in Britain, and within it there's a story about a group of disability activists who in 1992 picketed a television studio when they kept receiving annoying messages of pity and inspiration porn from this telethon that was being hosted there on the day, which only ever seemed to show that disabled people are people for pity. Yes, that's right. I and many other disabled activists find welfare handouts and charitable donations to be, well, just a load of useless, pitiful, useless peanuts that cannot make me happy. We believe in rights, not charity, and we piss on the pity of those who give us income. Yes, that's right, you heard me, piss on pity. There's this, that was the name of this organisation, one of two organisations who picketed the television studio on that day. And in doing so, ITV no longer hosted their charity telethons, and shortly afterwards they realised that disabled people are not props to be used in advocacy like tokens to show their compassion. It's just an act of useless virtue signalling done by patronising, pathetic, useless do-gooders. Yes, that's right, patronising. If you want to help disabled people, then don't be a patronising, useless do-gooder pitying us with any charitable causes. Just give us the resources and the money with which we can do to become independent of welfare. Now, I will leave that there, and there are a number of other things I could go on. If you want to read more about my disability advocacy work and my ideas, you can find my articles on the Havering Daily at thehaveringdaily.co.uk, and I'm one of their regular writers, and I'm also doing this YouTube channel, which will now take the bulk of my media production for my blogging from now on. I've decided I can't take my own blog any further the way it is now. And now, I will move on to making more videos for this channel. And I look forward to seeing more of you follow my blog. So just click the link below and you'll see more wonderful examples of disability advocacy in the years to come. I have a new book which is currently looking for a publisher about my autistic conservative objective, and I look forward to hearing more from you more inspiration for disability advocacy in order to perfect my teachings of my autistic conservative objective. And come to think of it, maybe I think it's time I started practicing learning to speak publicly with a bit more enthusiastically. What you're seeing here is not someone who is struggling to speak, but someone who is neurologically different and has got a tendency to have his mind wander, which is why I flip between speaking about alternating subjects in my videos. That is something that I use to my advantage when I speak in publicly to people. Right, I'll leave it there for now. I hope you continue to follow my blog, and I'll look forward to hearing more from you. Well, see you around sometime. Take care. Good day.